Cosmic Girl 101 signing on for the video about the upcoming Capricorn full moon occurring 21, 22 June 2024. Depends where you are on the planet at the time of the full moon lunation. This is for all zodiac signs. It's just a talk today about the moon and the aspects that are connected to this full moon on this day that may interest all astrology enthusiasts. So here we have a chart of the actual full moon. You don't need to really know about the chart. I've just put it up here in case anyone wants to have a look at it and the aspects. But this full moon in the sign of Capricorn is occurring at 1 degree. So it's the first degree of the sign of Capricorn, and it's a full moon opposing that sun that has just ingressed into Cancer at 1 degree. I find this full moon lunation to be quite quiet, very internal. It's very private. I don't see this as a full moon that is rambunctious or troubling, because there's so much yin energy connected to this lunation. Taurus, Cancer, Capricorn and Pisces, which are all connected quite intimately at the time of the full moon. These signs are yin in nature, which is very receptive. So it's about pulling things in and receiving. So we're receiving the very quiet, calm yin energies at the time of this full moon. And interestingly enough, we've got Venus and Mercury are also co-present with the Sun in the sign of Cancer. So you've got the planet Venus, which is all about uniting and being quite receptive as well. She's all about connecting and integrating with others. And Mercury is also a planet that is about connecting through movement and also dialogue and communication. So these two planets right near the sun at the time of this lunation, lighting up the full moon in the opposite sign of Cancer. I find this little stellium, because this is a stellium, and if there's 3 or more planets co-present in a particular sign, it is called a stellium. And an stellium is making the subject, whatever sign it's in, quite loud. So we've got that loud, look at this more, notice this more, and we're being called to notice and tune into Cancerian traits, the Cancerian characteristics of the sign. Well, what is Cancer? It's the moon's sign, and the moon is in the opposite sign of Capricorn. So the moon, which is the domicile ruler of Cancer, is far away from its own home, and we've got this quite obvious stellium here occurring in the sign of Cancer, asking us to look at the Cancerian characteristics at this time. What does Cancer actually mean for us all? Well, Cancer is a sign that is yin and receptive in nature. So we like that Venus is here, and we like that Mercury is here at the time of the full moon lunation. And we also like the Sun here, because the Sun, and we've got that Venus and Mercury co-present at the time in the sign of Cancer, is almost making us feel quite buzzed about the Cancerian themes, which is all about being calm, dropping into our emotional landscapes, tapping into our physical bodies, how we are receiving information, how we are feeling connected with others. So this is what is obvious at the time of the full moon, that there's this stellium and this concentration of how are we feeling? Do we feel comfortable? Are we safe? Are we secure? Cancer is a cardinal sign, which is all about change and initiation of change. And the reason we initiate change and take action in the sign of Cancer is to create emotional contentment and safety. So this is possibly what we are aware of at the time of this full moon, with the domicile ruler being in Capricorn a long way from its own home sign, is asking us to really drop into who is around us, how do we feel safe, do we need to start something. And that full moon in Capricorn, which is also a cardinal sign, but it's a cardinal earth sign and a yin sign, which is very receptive. What do we want to start to change in regards to the Capricorn themes? Now, Capricorn is all about building something solid and will work all its life to create a sense of safety and feeling very solid and making practical moves that are going to be sustainable for a very long time. So this lunation looks as if what the moon is reflecting back to us in the sign of Capricorn is, do we need to start to talk, communicate and express our feelings and emotions? Do we want to make some changes in regards to our sense of safety and stability? Capricorn and Cancer are all about creating that. Cancer more from the angle of emotional safety and security. Capricorn is about the practical resources of safety and stability, all for the long term. Cancer acts and creates change and is very protective about its sense of home, where it belongs, and how do I emotionally connect with my environment. Do I feel safe? People around me, are they in line with me? And Capricorn, this full moon, is basically saying, do you need to change something in a very practical, earthy way that's not really possibly going to be easy in the sign of Capricorn? There's work to be done here, but you can do it. So being a yin receptive moon, this lunation is asking us to discover what feels like home, what creates a sense of balance and unity in a home environment, and what is it that needs to change in connection to those topics if we feel like something more practical needs to be established to create a sense of stability in our everyday environment. Now, we also have the ruler of the lunation, which is Saturn, co-present with Neptune in the sign of Pisces, trining this full moon, sextiling the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer. We also have Mars in the sign of Taurus, which is Venus's domicile ruler sign. And we've got a nice match up here, and Mars is sextiling that Saturn and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. These are all yin signs. So this is it's so loud in this chart when I've been looking at it that it's all about feelings and being open to receive. What are we trying to receive? And Saturn, the ruler of the lunation, Saturn is the domicile ruler of Capricorn, in the sign of Pisces, is very slow at the time of this lunation. It's about to station and go into a retrograde. So there's not a lot of movement with the planet Saturn. Yet Saturn can see this lunation in its home sign. It can also see the Sun, Venus, and Mercury very clearly and also that Mars. And we've got Saturn in Pisces slowing down, about to go retrograde. And what is this lunation saying connected to its domicile ruler? Well, Pisces is a sign that is all about connecting to the unconscious, connecting with everyone. We are all one. There's a lot of wisdom connected to the sign of Pisces because they are open to interacting with all facets of life. Pisces is also a water feminine sign, and it's a mutable sign. And mutable signs are about being able to change quickly and adapt to their surroundings quite organically. They're very fluid, the mutable signs. There's potential for change that may be uncomfortable but flexible enough to do so. And we've got this feeling of Saturn in the sign of Pisces that is all about being flexible and open to change. And Saturn itself as a planet is about being conservative and looking at the end game and doing the hard yards, so to speak, to get to a particular goal, reach a certain peak of accomplishment. So Saturn in Pisces is all about looking realistically at picking something that connects you, that is going to be sustainable for the long term. And remember that sign of Pisces is about connecting to everything and all things. And Saturn's just basically asking us all, when transiting in the sign of Pisces, to slow down, process what's important, pick your battles, pick your paths wisely. Because I'm here in the sign of Pisces to make something come to fruition instead of being scattered. And also being a mutable sign, that Saturn in the sign of that Pisces could have trouble with change. Saturn isn't known for changing on a dime or being flexible or movable. So when we've got all this water, feminine, yin energy percolating around us, almost distracting us, Saturn is helping eliminate distraction. And what is the distraction? Well, the distraction is too many options and changes available and just being a little bit more singular so we can accomplish something that is real, that is going to be very long-term in our lives. Saturn is so slow at the time of this full moon lunation, sextiling and seeing that moon in his own sign of Capricorn, and is almost delivering a message of take your time, whatever you're trying to build and create and sustain is going to take a little bit of a tunnel vision for us all. So Mercury, Venus and the Sun in the sign of Cancer, this stellium in Cancer, is activating the intelligence of understanding what is unifying, what is sustainable. We can't be scattered. We need to create a sense of calm in regards to changing things up that need to be changed, connected to our sense of home, feeling safe and unified. And these cardinal signs of Capricorn and Cancer can change. Yet Pisces is also related to change, being a mutable sign. And we've got that Mars in the sign of Taurus here. And Mars is in Venus's domicile sign, as I said, and Taurus is a sign that is also earth, like Capricorn in trine here to the full moon. This is helping things move along a little bit more quickly, or taking action and move quicker if we feel like we haven't been able to make decisions, if we felt like we need a bit more of a bold sense of character to start coming through. This full moon lunation is assisted by Mars in Taurus. Taurus and Capricorn are very earthy signs. They're hard to move. But I like the fact that Mars is here in Taurus, not bulldozing, but giving the oomph and the push that we may need to start initiating change to create something sustainable. And that Saturn in Pisces is bringing us focus in the sign of that mutable, changeable yin Pisces energy. This full moon lunation, if you follow moon cycles, is we get excited when we see, even in the literal night sky, we get excited when we can see the moon is filling up. It's bringing more light when we step outside of our homes and stand underneath our own stars. There's something about the moon that's quite magical, and it's been connected to humanity for eons. And nothing's really changed here for people, I don't think, when it comes to really being in awe of a moon and seeing the moon. The sun, we see every single day. We resonate with that. We know the sun is rising. That means we get up and we're active. And when we're in the nighttime, we're more quieter and sedate. And we're more receptive to processing the day, being in an environment that's slowing down what makes us feel like we're in our sanctuary at night. And with the moon comforting us above and being bright, we stare into the moon, or we can really be aware of our emotions or people around us heightened, or people being more expressive. So the stellium in Cancer, that Sun, Mercury and Venus, I think at the time of this lunation, there'll be a lot of internal processing and mental chatter. And it may be reflected around people as well, discussing what it is they want to establish for the future, what direction, what do we need to change. This is the moment where I feel that I've got the support, being able to really tap into the intelligence of the subconscious here. We're getting downloads and we're getting assistance from Mercury and Venus, that we can integrate and change things that are going to make us feel quite calm and certain about our paths forward. This lunation is, I think, quite feminine in nature. And feminine being yin and receptive. We're open to receive the information that we are processing, our thoughts, our feelings. We're open to getting the little nudges from the cosmos of creating something that's going to change and sustain and build for the future. If we choose to do so, we have the opportunity to have a light bulb moment here with Mercury, Venus and the Sun in the sign of Cancer. Just back to Saturn in the sign of Pisces, which I also wanted to talk about. Now the Sun and Saturn are in a trine aspect here. And a trine aspect is an easier aspect. It's more flowier. There's not a lot of restrictions connected to a trine. The Saturn and the Sun are very much opposites, but they're in harmony here. They're in a trine here. So there's something lining up at this lunation that provides wisdom, looking at the end game and understanding the needing to shine the sun and live life and take on the life force. And it's encouraging Saturn to enjoy picking something in the sign of Pisces that's actually going to be a slow grind of change and establishing something that is long-term but can be enjoyable. What do we want to enjoy in Pisces? We want to enjoy flexibility, but not too much distraction. Pisces can be too overwhelmed and drown in the distraction. All that water can be anchoring. But we've got trines here. It's almost like the sun is buoyancying that Saturn, drawing Saturn out of the depths of Pisces to encourage stability and taking action on one or two things, not 17. So we've got helpful aspects here. We've got planets that have intelligence and wisdom to impart on each other here. And I think this lunation is going to be absolutely beautiful. Now back to Capricorn, where the full moon is currently happening at 1 degrees. Here the moon is very receptive and in nature of its own character anyway. But in the earthy yin sign of Capricorn, the cardinal sign of Capricorn, it's giving us an energetic boost and an escalation of possibly deep and profound experiences that we are processing at this time in the sign of Capricorn. What's being illuminated, if you will, deep from within regarding the Capricorn themes of earth, building, sustaining. What is coming up for you at this time of the lunation that is making you feel that there is change afoot, and the moon is encouraging you to have open arms to that. Our lives are constantly changing on every moment. Whether you're proactive or reactive, there's change occurring all the time. And Capricorn, this sign in of itself, is not really that flexible other than that cardinal energy that's connected to it, which is the ability to change. But in Earth, it's going to take effort and time. And this is why I like the Mars in Taurus, the other Earth sign, of giving us a nudge, helping us move the immovable. That moon is really assisting, bringing things deep from within out onto the surface playing ground of life to see what we need to build and grow. Do we need to till the soil? Do we need to make change? Is our earthly realistic lives too inflexible? Saturn in Pisces is certainly going to be overwhelmed in this sign, but that sun is helping Saturn realize you only need to take one or two things to build something on a daily grind and not be overwhelmed or distracted. Mercury and Venus are also helping you, Saturn, in that trine from Cancer to Pisces, sextiling the moon, sextiling Mars. We can move mountains here. We can be flexible. We only need to be open to change, but with firm direction and firm footing. You can also be feeling in tilter, like there's not a lot of safety or not a lot of predictability, and this moon can have you being very prepared to take on things that are harder to deal with at this time. Saturn will put in the hard yards to overcome obstacles and move mountains, literally. But emotional mountains, our internal worlds, how can we recycle the old to bring in the new? We want to move that soil, we want to move that earth. And Saturn trining, sextiling, all this beautiful yin, feminine energy of unity, being receptive and open to change, being receptive and having support from Venus and Mercury and that sun in the sign of Cancer to actually build something beautiful and change things up that feel great. And Mercury, I love Mercury here in Cancer simply because there's an intelligence here of knowing to change your mind up and make decisions here. This lunation can really help if you are tapping into lunation cycles and you're into moon magic and you're into astrology. This is a great time. If you feel like there are things that have been stoic and stale, we've got some clarity here and zoning in energy of picking the paths that are actually going to work and throw everything out that's not. Neptune's also co-present in the sign of Pisces at the time of this lunation, and Neptune is quite slow as well. It's going into a retrograde also. So we've got a very slow Neptune in its own sign of Pisces, going in a retrograde, slowing down like Saturn. So it's a real opportunity for us to not be distracted or overwhelmed by too much noise from the outside world and too much deep emotional feelings that could be weighing us down and blocking us and sabotaging us, trapping us. The planets going into a retrograde in the sign of Pisces is giving us all this opportunity and this moment of what haven't you been on track with here? What's been distracting you? We're now going to go back over a few things and give you the time to retweak, redirect, and get focused again. It's a wonderful lunation. Go outside and have a moon bath. Honor this beautiful planet that always is changing, but we really are connected to it. So I wish you all a fabulous moon bath. It's also a fantastic time to clean your crystals, give them a wash in salt water, let them dry out, put them outside under the full moon, and let the moon really shine on those crystals and energize this really solid yin receptive energy that it's expressing. And then bring those crystals back into the home, cleanse your home, energies are clear and stable, and actually work with your crystals that have been energized. Sleep with them, hold them, wear them, have them around you. They're part of the earth, and this is a very earthy full moon. And we can really tap into being stable, being very calm, instead of being distracted by the outside world or too much change. If we felt that we've gone off track, this is the lunation to bring us back to center. I'm Cosmic Girl 101. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this lunation insight, and I welcome any comments. Until next time, if you're liking astrology and tarot, I will be uploading future videos, and there's also videos that you can go back and have a look at that is relevant to your rising sign for the astrology reports and the tarot readings for all sun signs. Take care. Have a blessed full moon.